Today we are going to be talking about anonymous functions in Python. Anonymous functions is something really very interesting to do with Python, and it's a way to write function in kind of a shorthand method. And before I continue, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button below this video. In this way, you encourage me to continue making these lessons for you. So anonymous functions sometimes is also called Lambda expressions, is also called single line functions. So it's a good way to write a function that is really very short in one single line. So let's take, for example, to write a function that adds two numbers. Normally you'll say sum, you say def and say sum, and then give it the two numbers you want to add, num1 and num2, and put a colon and then say sum is equal to num1 plus num2, and then you go ahead to say return sum. So this is an interesting way, the normal way of writing a function in Python. So if we now say print sum and we say 4 and 6, at this time it's going to, I'm going to close the braces here. Fine. So if I run this code, it's going to print out the sum. So this is a normal function in Python, but I'm going to write this function in an anonymous way using Lambda expression. It's quite interesting to know that we can write a function without a name. So let's see how it works. To do that, you simply say lambda space, you give it the name num1, num2, and then you specify what you want to return. In this case, we want to return num1 plus num2. And boom, we have anonymous function written. So if I run this program, everything is fine. We have something we've written in 3 lines has been written in 1 line, right? But there is a problem. The problem is, how do we then use this function, because it has no name? So that is a problem. How do we use it? How do we use this function? That is the problem we have, because it has no name. Alright, the solution to this problem is just to give it a name. So I can just say, from here, I can just say sum equals. So we've solved this problem. Now we have this function written in one single line. So I can just go ahead to call this function. Let's say sum, and I give it, let's say 5 and 6. We use a print statement, so let's make sure it's working. Just to make sure we are not calling the first function we wrote, I'm going to give this a different name, sum2. So I'm going to use sum2. So let's see if it is going to work. So let me run it. So you can see that it works perfectly. And this is the beauty of anonymous function. It is really very easy to write and very short to use in Python. So let me just write the syntax for anonymous function. So the first thing you use, you put there is function name. Sorry, let me just make this a comment. Yeah, let me write it here. So the first thing you specify is the function name, right? And then equal to lambda. Lambda, of course, is a Python keyword. Then your parameters, parameter 1, parameter 2, up to the number of parameters you would like to use, you just specify them here. And then you specify a colon, and then expression follows. So this expression is the expression that is going to use these parameters to work. So if you look at the function we wrote, this function we wrote here, so it follows the same syntax. So this is the syntax. So we have function name, which is sum2, equal to lambda, and we now have parameter 1, which is num1, comma, num2. Then you now give a colon and then specify the expression, which is equivalent to the return value, what you actually want to return. So I hope this is very clear to you, how lambda expressions work in Python. And I'd like to thank you for viewing. Remember to subscribe or like this video, and also leave a comment to me if there is something you observe about this lesson.